The Mulan remake is everything wrong with modern blockbusters. The only thing it has less of than good writing is a reason to exist. I'm going into this assuming that you've seen the original 1998 cartoon or are familiar with the story. If not, go watch it, then come back here and listen to me rant. First off, it looks terrible. It's not as bad as Aladdin that was like this embarrassingly cheap looking, like Sale at Michael's level costuming. Like, look at this shit, Jesus Christ. But it's not great either. The actual environments can be really pretty, and then other times you can tell they recorded a lot of stuff on flat planes inside studios and CGI'd in interesting things in the background, making the battles feel really lifeless and fake. The CGI in general is minimal, which is great. I love movies that have interesting practical effects instead of CGI. The problem is, they forgot the practical effects. The action could have been cool. You've got martial artists on tap, Mulan uses the Force now, so there was potential, but no. Donnie Yen just spins around in place for a little bit, and Jet Li has like one scene, and it's really short. Mulan's power is limited to jumping and dodging. Fight scenes are just a bunch of people vaguely flailing in a particular direction until one of them dies, all while the camera cuts more often than the soldiers. I guess instead of decent framing so you could see the choreography on display, the filmmakers decided to give the illusion that something crazy is happening and that you're just too stupid to keep track of it. It honestly feels insulting to my intelligence. Scenes in this movie simultaneously feel too long and too abrupt. A lot of the buildup in the original Mulan is just thrown into the trash in the remake, yet the remake is somehow longer and covers less ground. The writing is even worse.
We are the same. We're not. We are.
The script is like the Google Translate off-brand version of the original.
We're going to make men out of every single one of you.
I was actually excited when I heard that they were going to take out the singing and the Mushu, but then they ended up just replacing those things with more boring versions of the same thing. Instead of a talking dragon, you have a phoenix that silently dicks around every half an hour. They removed the grandma and replaced them with a sister whose only character trait is being afraid of spiders. The matchmaker part is a poor man's version of the cafeteria scene in Spider-Man 1. Instead of talking to Mushu, the dad randomly narrates the film, but only sometimes, then he stops doing it for no reason. And it never makes sense in the context of the movie.
There were men gathering from all over the kingdom. An alien and savage tribe to her.
She's hiding. In plain sight.
They took Shang and split him into two characters, neither of which you will care about. Her squad in the original was super fun and memorable. They felt like real outcasts, which is why Mulan fit in with them so well. Then in the end, they all worked together and relied on each other's strengths to beat the bad guy. In the remake, it's just three schmucks that Mulan occasionally has lunch with. It's a fucking joke. Anything that was once visuals or subtext is now bluntly told to you in an onslaught of wooden performances.
I am the father. It is my place to bring honor to our family on the battlefield. You are the daughter. Learn your place.
We must be strong. This time he will not return.
The scene where she leaves home is so bad. In the original, there is this awesome build-up with music I can't play because YouTube sucks. In the remake, Mulan just grabs the sword in this blandly shot scene, reads its inscription out loud to no one, and then it just cuts to her already in the armor. And then she just leaves. Like, what the fuck? They screw up the dad's reaction too. In the original, when the dad sees the army paper replaced with her hairpin, he connects the dots but doesn't want to believe it until he checks his armor cabinet. It's this nice moment of tension as the weight of what's going on hits him, because 1998 Mulan knew how to let things just breathe for 5 minutes. In the remake, they reversed the order in some weird attempt to make it different from the other movie, but not really. So in the remake, he starts off looking for his armor.
My sword, my armor, it's gone.
Then he sees the pin.
A conscription scroll.
And then he connects the dots, but there's no like awkward moment for him to like try not to believe what's going on. So it just cuts from him looking for his armor to him calmly explaining the situation to his wife, and it's just so fucking awkward.
It was Mulan.
You must stop her. The northern invaders will kill her.
If I expose her like our own people will kill her.
And that's like every single scene in this movie that's lifted from the original film. Mulan's arc is completely ruined. In the original movie, part of the charm was that Mulan wasn't a good bride, but she also had no military experience either. She had to use her ingenuity and hard work to survive and eventually thrive. So of course, in the remake, they replace all of her skills with Qi, a magical power she's born with out of the womb that she didn't have to earn. But her using Qi is bad because only men can wield Qi, even though we only see like 2 people wielding it out of 1,000 million troops. So you think that they wouldn't care about gender for the enormous tactical advantage she gives you, but whatever. Of course, this is a modern blockbuster, so Mulan never had to earn the Qi in any way. I'm sorry, in any way, because you can't have a woman struggle with anything in these movies ever, otherwise it's not progressive somehow. The inevitable result of a hero starting off powerful but also being on this quasi-hero's journey Hollywood blockbuster template is that they spend the first half of the film jogging in place about how they're not good enough, and then the second half of the film they spend being powerful. So their entire character arc is a light switch. And I'd recommend leaving this one turned off.